Did you know that 95% of your daily choices are controlled by a part of your brain you aren't even aware of? Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly fascinating and honestly deeply practical psychological toolkit from way back in 1963. We're looking at Dr. Joseph Murphy's seminal work, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And look, this isn't just your standard positive thinking stuff. It's actually a mechanical, actionable guide to rewriting the hidden scripts that govern your daily life.
Modern behavioral analysts actually call this the 95% problem. We spend so much time focusing on our tiny 5% of conscious effort. Our willpower, our logical decision-making, but nearly all of our habits, our emotional reactions, and our deeply ingrained behaviors, they're driven by that massive 95% slice, our subconscious programming. And this is exactly why temporary conscious willpower almost always runs out of steam when it's fighting a deep-seated habit. You are, quite literally, outmatched by your own hidden programming.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. Your two minds explained, the gatekeeper and the soil.
So, to actually change that 95%, Dr. Murphy proposed that our unified mind has two very distinct operational phases. First up, you've got the conscious mind. Think of this as the objective, logical gatekeeper. It navigates the physical world using your senses, and most importantly, it decides what information actually gets let in. Then you have the subconscious mind. This part is subjective, highly creative, and entirely non-judgmental. It operates 24/7, controlling your heartbeat, your breathing, cellular regeneration, even while you're fast asleep. But here is the absolutely critical difference. The subconscious mind cannot argue. It just can't challenge premises. It's like incredibly fertile soil. It's going to grow whatever seeds the gatekeeper lets through, whether those seeds are constructive and positive or completely destructive and negative.
Moving on to Section 2. Overcoming the Little Me, the Enrico Caruso story.
To see how this dual mind mechanism plays out in a real high-stakes scenario, let's look at Enrico Caruso. He was one of the most celebrated opera tenors in history, but despite his incredible talent, Caruso suffered from just paralyzing pre-performance stage fright. Right before stepping on stage, his conscious gatekeeper was utterly consumed by thoughts of failure. He'd literally repeat to himself, "I can't sing. They will laugh at me. My career is finished." He was planting terrible toxic seeds in that fertile soil. And his subconscious, well, it immediately went to work executing those instructions, triggering real involuntary physical spasms and intense throat constriction. He was physically unable to sing entirely because of the programming he was feeding himself.
But here is how Caruso finally broke the cycle. Recognizing what he was doing, he stopped, turned toward the stage, and forcefully commanded his fearful, conscious intellect, which he actually called the little me, to step aside. He asserted the authority of his big me, his immense subconscious creative power. By loudly decreeing, get out, the big me is going to sing," he forcefully bypassed that conscious panic. He dropped a brand new, undeniable instruction right into the soil. The physical tension instantly released, and he walked out and delivered a completely majestic performance.
Which brings us to Section 3, Reprogramming in Your Sleep, the Baudoin Technique. Now, Caruso used a forceful decree to overcome acute, in-the-moment panic. But what if you want to quietly and permanently rewrite a stubborn, everyday habit? For that, we look to the Baudoin technique. Derived from the clinical observations of Charles Baudoin at the Rousseau Institute, the sheer genius of this method is that it's designed to completely bypass your analytical gatekeeper without picking a fight. Instead of arguing with your conscious mind, which, let's be honest, will always try to list a million reasons why you can't achieve your goal, this method minimizes conscious effort entirely to slip suggestions right into the subjective mind. So, the crucial point is how you actually execute this simple 3-step bedtime procedure. Step 1. Take a complex goal or desire and condense it down into a very brief, highly memorable phrase. Step 2. Get into bed and enter a deeply relaxed, drowsy twilight state. That floaty feeling right before you drift off. In this state, your logical gatekeeper is essentially falling asleep. On the job. Step 3. You repeat your condensed phrase over and over, quietly and lovingly, almost like a lullaby. Because your active, logical mind is submerged, it can't fight the suggestion. The new programming just quietly and passively saturates that 95% of your brain.
Next up, Section 4, The Power of Mental Transference, the Expansion of Potential.
So Dr. Murphy's work actually goes even further than just shifting daily habits. Let's look at a pretty remarkable case study from the text involving his own sister, Catherine. Now, the medical reality here was severe. She was in England, scheduled for imminent surgery to remove gallstones.
Meanwhile, Dr. Murphy was thousands of miles away back in the United States. Instead of panicking or focusing on how bad the illness was, Murphy used a very systematic affirmation. He deliberately withdrew his attention from her physical symptoms entirely, repeating, "The healing intelligence of her subconscious mind is now transforming every cell. All distorted thought patterns are removed and dissolved." He was applying this profound concept that the exact same subconscious intelligence that created the physical body in the first place also possesses the perfect blueprint to restore it.
And this brilliantly illustrates the progression of what New Thought practitioners call the principle of mental transference. Day 1, he begins this focused affirmation. For 2 solid weeks, he repeats it several times a day, maintaining immense mental discipline to just not let fearful thoughts enter his mind. By day 14, right before the scheduled procedure, a new X-ray was taken in England. It revealed absolutely no trace of gallstones, and the surgery was completely canceled. It's just a stunning example of how disciplined internal focus can actually affect physical reality.
Let's move along and see how this builds into the modern day. What's amazing is how these 1963 concepts are literally the foundation for a lot of contemporary cognitive behavioral therapy today. For instance, daily gratitude exercises right before sleep? They utilize the exact same twilight suggestibility as the Boudin technique, shifting your focus entirely away from anxiety. Cognitive reframing of pessimism is essentially what Caruso did, immediately challenging an automatic negative thought so it doesn't take root. And the Reach forgiveness model is used clinically today to dissolve subconscious resentment and anger that blocks personal growth and even physical health. The underlying mechanics remain exactly the same.
We've seen how the logical gatekeeper and the fertile soil operate. We've seen how to bypass panic like Enrico Caruso, how to rewrite habits in your sleep with the Boudin technique, and the profound physical impacts of disciplined focus. Remember, 95% of your life is running on autopilot, but the tools to change that programming are right in front of you. So, my question to you as we wrap up this explainer is this. When your head hits the pillow tonight and that gatekeeper gets drowsy, what limitations will you choose to rewrite in your subconscious?